be making this bookmark. We're gonna learn how to mosaic crochet if you are interested. If you have your own project that you want to learn mosaic crochet for, that works for this. If you want to work along with me just to learn the technique, I have this free pattern in the description and we will be working off of this chart. I will also provide written instructions, so feel free to work along with me on this. We're going to learn how to read mosaic charts and just the basic technique. The only stitches we're going to need are single crochet, double crochet, and that's it. We will be working like in the front loop, back loop only, so it's helpful if you know that terminology. I'm so excited to be doing this. I love mosaic crochet. I learned it last year and I just love how clean the work comes out. I've just been obsessed with it ever since. So if you want to learn, you're in the right place. Here's my original bookmark. I'm going to make like the inverse, so I'm going to use the dark color for the background and the light color for the text. I'm using Lion Brand Kaboo. This is a weight 3 yarn. I use pale pink and mauve. These are like a cotton bamboo mix, so I think they work nice. I think they block okay. Any weight 3 yarn should be good. If you want to use weight 4, that's fine, or acrylic, but it's just going to be bigger bookmark. But if you're just using this to practice, it's no big deal. I then have my hook. I'm using a 3.5. My tension does tend to be on the looser side, so you might want to size up. I do also have a pen just to mark like where I am on the chart, which is our other material, I guess. Alright, let's go over the chart real quick and how mosaic crochet works. You start at the bottom right, you work row by row, right to left with the front always facing you, and then each row is alternating colors. So I'm working first with my mauve, and then with my pale pink, then with my mauve, then with my pale pink, and so on. Each X on the chart is a double crochet that is worked into the corresponding stitch 2 rows below. So whatever, like, it's always going to be in the same color, so you're always going to work a double crochet in the pale pink into a stitch that is pale pink. Any blank space is a single crochet that is just worked back loop only. And then each row starts and ends with a border stitch, which is just a single crochet worked into both loops. So if that seems like a lot of information, don't worry, we're gonna do it step by step together. And we're gonna start with our color A. Mine is the mauve. I'm going to chain 42. That is for our border stitch, our 39 color stitches, and then our last border stitch plus 1 to make the turn. If you want to foundation single crochet, that's totally chill. I just hate doing that, so I'm not going to. Okay, I'm just going to recount this real quick, make sure that we're good. Okay, so now we have 42 chains. We're going to work in the second chain from the hook. We're just going to single crochet, regular, degular, single crochet. Oops. And then we're just single crocheting in each chain, so that we have 41 total chains. Nope, so that we have 41 total single crochets. Alright, I have now completed my first row. Just double check that there's 41 stitches, and then we can fasten off. You are going to need scissors for this. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, I'm just losing my mind. You don't really need a long tail. I'm not going to weave in my ends since I'm going to tassel them. I'm not really worried about having enough to weave in. I'm just going to trim them later. And And then we can start on our second row, which is going to be in this pale pink. Okay, so this first row is done. Row 1, you can check that off. Now we're on row 2 in pale pink. Now this entire row is blank boxes, so we're just going to single crochet in the back loop only, the entire row. So easy enough. Let's attach our pink, or our color B, into our first stitch. So we'll attach this. And then we're going to single crochet both loops only in that same stitch. Now instead of working in both loops, we're only going to be working into the back loop, right there. Yarn over, pull up, you see? Back loop only, the whole row. So it should look like this. You have like this little line of front loops that you're going to be able to use further along in the project to start to make our pattern. So to this the whole row, you should have 2 border stitches and 39 back loop only single stitches. And then we will move on to row 3. We're now at the very last stitch of our row, so we're going to work our border stitch into both loops of this last one. Just a single crochet in both loops. You can now fasten off. My big bulky scissors today. Fasten off. Set our pale pink aside, and we can now start row 3, which is where things start to get a little more fun. Mark off to row 3. So we're going to attach our mauve, or our color A, into our first stitch. Single crochet into that same stitch, both loops. And then we can refer to our chart. Our first stitch, our first 2 stitches are both marked with an X, which means they are both double crochets. These are going to be worked into the front loop only of our first row. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the front loop of the mauve row below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And that's our first double crochet. And then we're going to do that again, yarn over, insert into the very next stitch, front loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you can see, sorry, let me move that. We're kind of, see where like blocking the pale pink stitching that's behind these double crochets. So that's how we end up with our pattern, by blocking, systematically blocking some of our stitching, some of our single crochet stitching with double crochets. So our next two are blank spaces, so we're going to just work single crochets into the back loop only of our next two stitches, the pale pink ones. One and two. So now we're kind of revealing this very bottom of our last R. Now we have 2 double crochets again into the row below. Front loop only. You can see the little leg of the R starting to form. We're going to do 1 single crochet, back loop only, and then 1 double crochet, front loop only. Sorry, 2 double crochets, front loop only. And that is the first row of our R done. So we're just going to continue following the chart for the rest of the row, and I'll put the written instructions for each row up on the screen as I go. Also, I will have the written pattern in the description. There's a Google Drive folder in my description that says free patterns. If you click there, you will see the free PDF for this that has the written instructions as well as this chart. So if you want to work along with that, totally chill. I'll have the written instructions on the screen, and we'll just follow the chart for the rest of this row. Oh shoot, I already messed up. That was just 1 single crochet. Sorry about that. Okay, and then we're at the end of our row. Don't forget to finish with a border stitch, which is the single crochet in both loops, and then you can fasten off. Now we have row 3 done. You can start to see our pattern forming, and we can move on to row 4. This is going to be with our pink, and we'll start this together too. After we do this, I will just have the written instructions on the screen for each row, and you can use those to keep going while I work on mine. So we're doing our border stitch, working a single crochet into both loops, and then we have 2 single crochets. And you can kind of see we're kind of forced to do single crochets here because our double crochets are in the other color. You work our 2 single crochets into the back loop only. And then we have 2 double crochets working into the front loop of the row below. Making that leg to our R. Okay, now we have 2 single crochets. 1, 2, back loop only, 1 double crochet to extend the leg to this leg of the R. 1 double crochet into the front loop only. And that's our R. Single crochet 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 double crochets to continue our E here. And then 2 single crochets get us to our D. So you can kind of see our letters forming even more. That's the fun part, is that every row you see your pattern happening. It's like just so satisfying to work up. But you can see like our bottom leg of our E here, and then our stem kind of going up. That's what it should look like on the front side. And then on the back side, it should look like stripes. And that's how it's going to look on the back when you're done the whole thing. So I'm going to keep going. I don't know what that was. I'm going to keep going with my 4th row, and I'm going to stop talking to you because I think we should be good to go. And we'll work all the way to our 11th row, and then I'll check in with you when we're finishing that up. Do not forget your border stitches, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you when we're nearing the end. Okay. We're coming up to our last couple stitches. I just have a single, double, double, and then my border stitch left. So we'll do those. And border stitch. And we can fasten off, and then we're done with the crocheting. Okay, next we can just make tassels out of these. I'm going to do what I did here. These are supposed to be like striped, so it's just like one pale pink, one dark pink, one pale pink, one dark pink. I'm gonna put on the tassels and then I'll show you the end result. So I've added tassels and I've trimmed them to a length I like. I will put like a little tutorial for the tassels that I used in the description if you want to check that out by another creator. What is that? Get off. I'm going to block this next. You can see how it's a little wonky. I'm just gonna block it by pinning it in place, and then I'm gonna spray it with water and leave it to dry overnight, and that'll be it. That's our bookmark. We're all done. We have our bookmark. Whether you use it to learn how to mosaic crochet or you made this bookmark, so glad you're here. Thank you for watching. If you do post about this bookmark, tag me so I can see it. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for hanging out with me. Feel free to subscribe if you feel like it. As I said, I have a bunch of free patterns in my description. I also have a link to my Etsy store with my paid patterns. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.